For Mavi Marmara attack, and secondly also indemnization for these 9 people killed and more than 12 or 13 people injured. Israel is refusing that. From one side, Washington is trying to press Ankara to have better relationship between Ankara and Tel Aviv, but the Turkish government is trying in any case to resist against these American pressures. In the public opinion, the fact that the relationship between Turkey and Israel are locked now because no negotiation and no any progress on the diplomatical level, I should say that people are not very unhappy about that. Let me give you the example of just 10 or 12 days ago when Mavi Marmara came back from Israel, from Gaza to Istanbul. There have been a huge meeting of solidarity between solidarity with the Palestinian, mainly Gaza people. So I mean, let's say the public opinion is not really very interested about all these diplomatical problems. So I can say that the solidarity with Palestinian people and mainly Gaza people is enough strong in Turkey today.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Turan. Let me come back to you, Mr. Hamdan. Now, many are speaking of Egyptian complicity with Israel on the issue of the blockade. Now, let's say Hamas does renew its relations or its good ties, if you may say, with Egypt, go into the mediation for more reconciliation with Fatah. Wouldn't that be good for the Gaza Strip?
Well, in fact, the important thing for Gaza Strip is to break the siege down. It was clear from the Egyptian side, and they have said that clearly, and sometimes in public, the foreign minister have said that the reconciliation between Fatah and Hamas will not affect the siege on Gaza. And I believe the Egyptians explained that politically by saying if they open the borders between Gaza and Egypt, that will let the Israelis have the chance to say, well, the responsibility towards Gaza would be an Egyptian one, which I believe it's nonsense. When they said that, they know that they are lying for the people. They are not saying the truth. They are part of the American policy on the siege against Gaza, and they don't want to let that down. So they will hold on the siege until the Palestinian people and the activists around the world make their own step to break down the siege day by day.
Yes. Now, one final question for Mr. O'Keefe. How do people there in Gaza think of a next war, next possible war? Do they believe that Israel might go through this and is about to take on a new fight with Hamas?
Well, there's definitely people here who are very concerned about it. I mean, you know, it seems as if you only kill 1 or 2 people a day, then it's not a big deal, and it doesn't really register. People are being killed on a regular basis. Since I've been here, I believe it's about 30 people have been shot in the so-called buffer zone, most of them collecting rocks that can be broken into dust to create, to make cement, because of course Egypt and Israel will not allow any cement in here. This is happening every day. So we don't have an all-out full-scale war right now, but murder is occurring on a nearly daily basis. Bombings are occurring on a nearly daily basis. So whether they're going to actually launch a full-scale attack is anyone's guess. I mean, they're crazy. Let's be straight. The Israeli government is crazy by the literal definition of the word. So they're capable of anything. There's no question of that. Are they going to do it? I mean, this is the twisted reality of the world we live in. Probably the best thing to happen to the Palestinian cause as far as raising awareness was Operation Cast Lead. It destroyed lives. Hundreds of children were murdered. It was horrendous. But finally, it forced the world to wake up and pay attention to what is happening here. So if Israel were to do something like that again, I don't have any doubt at all that the world would finally do everything that it needs to do to ensure that this blockade and this criminal government of Israel is reined in. Because this government of Israel, with its partner, the United States, and its funder, are the 2 biggest threats on this planet right now. And there can be no question of that. The reason why the people of the world need to care about what's happening down here is because this conflict threatens all of us. It could very well be the end of the world as we know it if this conflict were to go further.
Yes, but
if
Mr.
there was an
O'Keefe,
attack on Iran.
Yes, do you
If
believe
there was
that
an attack
Israel...
on Iran,
Has Israel succeeded somehow in making it a forgotten issue? I mean, do we need another war in order to raise more awareness?
No, it certainly doesn't need another war. Unfortunately, this is the twisted reality of the world that we live in, that people do not seem to pay enough attention, unless, of course, something is so hideously blatant that then we are forced to pay attention to it. We don't have to do that. We could pay attention. We could listen to, for instance, the story that I found today about a woman, a mother of 7 children, who lost her son, who was shot dead by the Israelis during Cast Lead. And then, from a distance of 20 meters away, she watched as Israelis 7 meters away from her dead son unloaded their weapons, about 100 to 150 bullets into her dead son, to the point that when she went to go hug her child, there was no child left. He was like hamburger meat, literally. Those are the kinds of things that have happened here. Now, we can pretend as if it's not happening, but it is happening. Maybe we should do more. I hope that we do. I believe that human consciousness is capable of much more than what we've done thus far.
Thank you, Mr. O'Keefe. Now, it's a sad situation there in Gaza. Mr. Halla, has Egypt really become in the position of the accused, along with Israel?
Well, actually, Egypt is obliged, since the signing of the Camp David Treaty or agreement at that time, of various conditions, security-wise, with the Israeli as well. So, and the border is the essential part of the agreement as well, and especially after the Oslo, agreement, there was renewal for many conditions concerning the Israeli Egyptian parts with the involved with such putting the steps of such policy concerning protecting the border whatsoever. So Egypt, I think, for many reasons, if we're going to go through, it will take a long time to discuss concerning the political situation and the involvement with the between the Egyptian and the American, which is the American, of course, Egypt is the one main tool for the North Africa for them, and it's as well as Jordan, they play the role of being the both sides, which is they make sure that security on the western and eastern front for the Israeli security, front is safe in that respect concerning this agreement security-wise. So Egypt now in a different perspective altogether concerning the outcome now, and there is a new kind of policy even for the United States concerning the region. So Egypt is not within, Egypt by Mubarak regime is not a very essential at the moment for the American administration at the time.
Yes, but it's still not allowing goods into Gaza.
There is lots of, Egypt, if you realize that the Egypt, they are now more flexible than before. What we witnessed in the Lifeline and we witnessed in the others, other things.
Yes, thank you very much, because our time is running out. Mr. Hamdan, how can we take a look at the future of Gaza and the possibility of a new war? Is Israel afraid that a war could be expanded beyond the region?
Well, I have to say that there is two more important points when the Israelis are trying to evaluate the situation, whether they can launch a war against Gaza or not. The first one, the preparations which is going on in Gaza. And they have realized lately that there was some new preparations when the resistance used the Kornet missile against the Israeli tanks. And the second point, which is very important, the point which you have mentioned, that the Israelis are not sure that this war will just keep itself with Gaza. And they are worried whether this war may be expanded. And they are talking seriously about the war which may happen with Hezbollah and their expectations about the interference of Hezbollah in such a war if they launch this war, and what will happen next. I have also to add that the Israelis are insisting to push the American administration to have more harsh actions against Iran, because they know the Iranian nuclear program will put the Iranians in the position as a great state in the region, which will affect the Israeli position for the long term. So Israel is trying to have war on different sides, and they know that they can't launch those wars together. So,
and they're also losing their allies. Like Turkey.
Exactly, they are losing their allies in the region, and more than this, the political environment in the region, which kept Israel for 6 decades, is being changed now, and it will change by the time.
That's a very interesting point.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to stop right there. Mr. Osama Hamdan, Head of Foreign Relations in Hamas, thank you very much. Mr. Nabil Halak, also part of the National Initiative for Breaking the Siege on Gaza. We're also joined by Ken O'Keefe, human rights activist in Gaza, and by Mr. Raghab Turan, Turkish journalist in Turkey. I want to thank you for joining us. Our email is metoday@presstv.com. Stay with Press TV. Goodbye for now.